Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here this morning on Narcissism 101, Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great Monday morning. Hope everybody's having a good start to the new week. Hope you guys also had a great weekend as well. I had a really busy weekend, but it was a great weekend nonetheless. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, if you would like a one-on-one session, please email me, paul.wisdom_03 at hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some more advice, if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is a narcissist, or if you just have some questions for me about any of my videos or any of the content that I put out there, please feel free to reach out to me. But if you want to call, just send a text to the number first. Let me know your name and let me know that you've been watching my videos, and then I'll be able to get you the help that you need. All right, so let's get into what we're going to talk about today. So the question is, and the title of this video today is going to be, why is it that narcissists always seem so exhausted and tired during the daytime? Yeah, I'm gonna answer that question because it's a thing that you may notice, or you're probably noticing if you're dealing with a narcissist currently, is that they always seem to be tired during the daytime. It's like in the nighttime they're so full of energy. They want to do so much, but then during the daytime, like for example, when they if they have a job, and they go to their job and then they come home, they're usually so tired, exhausted for some reason, right? Now, understandably, hold on a second, understandably, when most of us are done our jobs during the day, and some of us even have kids. I don't have kids of my own, but some of us have children, some of us have different responsibilities that keep us busy, and sometimes we're tired. I get that. But what I'm saying is that narcissists are exhausted to the point where it seems like they just ran a marathon all around the world or something like that. Or it seems as though they haven't gotten any sleep in days, right? And it just seems unusual that how can somebody after a normal 9 to 5, and they have a daily routine, how is it that they're always so exhausted, when the day comes to an end? Like, let's say that you guys want to do something, after work, for example. Let's say you guys want to go on a date. Let's say you guys want to go do something. And then the person who is a narcissist who you're with, it seems like it's an ongoing thing where they don't want to do anything because they're always so exhausted and tired. And you're asking yourself the question, you're trying to figure out, why is it that they're always so exhausted at this time? Why is it that they don't want to do anything with me, or spend time with me, or watch a movie with me, or go to the store with me? Why is it that they don't want to do anything? Well, I got the answer, folks. The answer is, the reason why narcissists are generally tired during the daytime, it's because during the nighttime, that's when they are out chasing things that you don't know about. They're doing things that you are not aware of. So, what do those some of those things include? Well, they are having affairs that you don't know about. They are they're into witchcraft and things like that. But these things you don't know about, right? Because you think that they're just a normal person, or that you just think that they're normal. You think everything's normal, right? But the truth is that the other reason why narcissists are started during the daytime is because the nighttime is when most people, they narcissists know inside their minds that the nighttime is when most people are sleeping, right? And that means that because most people are sleeping during the nighttime, it means that they can do a lot more damage control, because they know that people won't be able to figure them out as easy, because during the nighttime, think about it, right? Think about it. During the nighttime, that's when a lot of crimes happen, right? That's when a lot of killings happen. That's when evil sort of lurks around in the night, because it's dark outside, right? And people generally can't see what's happening. So if there's a robbery in the nighttime, 9 times out of 10 they won't catch the robber, because it's dark, it's night, right? And the robbers know that if it's dark outside, well, no one's gonna catch me. They won't even know it's me, right? But during the daytime, Narcissists know that during the daytime, that's when it's light outside. That's when it's busy outside. That's when more and more people, can see them, right? And narcissists don't want to be seen, right? They want to do things behind the scenes without people knowing, right? And so that's why they're so exhausted during the daytime. It's because during the daytime they've spent so much time during the nighttime doing so much damage control, doing stealing from people, cheating on people, running around aimlessly trying to chase things, right? That are evil, right? Because narcissists. The other thing too is that narcissists also thrive in darkness, right? Narcissists don't like light, right? They don't like day. They don't like the daytime. They don't like light because it exposes their darkness too much. And narcissists don't like exposure, right? That's why they hide around and they lurk in the shadows. They lurk around in the darkness, right? That's why narcissists don't are usually not getting any sleep, and they love the nighttime so much because they know that they can't sleep during the nighttime. And why is that? It's because narcissists, the demons that run around in their minds and the disorder that they have in their minds of sense entitlement, of lacking the ability to empathize, they see the nighttime as a time where they can freely do whatever they want because they know that their spouses or their children or their girlfriend or their boyfriend or whomever that they're with, they know that these people won't be anywhere around to see what they're doing, right? Because they know that they know that they can get away with these things because they do it every single day, right? And so that's why during the daytime narcissists are so tired, because they spend so much time in the nighttime doing so many things that it causes them not to be able to even get any sleep, maybe 2 hours of sleep. But narcissists don't generally like to sleep. It's because sleeping, when you sleep, right? Some of the times when you're sleeping, you sometimes self-reflect, right? While you're sleeping, right? In your mind, you're sort of going through the day that you had, right? And you're thinking of the great day or the not so good day you had, what you're gonna do better the next day, right? You're thinking about all these things during the day, during when you're some of these things when you're sleeping, right? But the narcissist, they can't do that because they know that they're self-reflecting. If they were to self-reflect, then they would have to think of all the people that they've cheated, all the people that they've lied to, all the people that they stole things from, right? All the bad things that they did, right? They would have to think about all those things, and all those things would come to the surface, right? And they do it so much, so often, that many times narcissists, they cannot keep up with all their lies. Because remember, narcissists, because every day we are all getting older, right? Each and every one of us, we're going through different ages, right? Some of us are getting to our teens, some of us are getting to our 20s, some in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on and so forth. And as we get older, right? A lot of us, we start to lose our memories, right? And the narcissists, though, they start to lose their memory at a very young age because they do this all the time, right? They chase supply all the time. It's their life. It's their life's work. It's what they've been doing, right, from since they were born. They were groomed and trained to do this all their life. And so they're so tired and exhausted because they're constantly chasing all these things, right? And they don't. And the other thing too, the reason why they are tired, the other reason why they're tired during the daytime as well, is because they know that during the daytime there has to be some sort of accountability for the stuff that they did in the nighttime, right? And they can't do it. They can't be accountable, right? Because it's too much. It's too painful for them, right, to have to be accountable. That's why narcissists, they can't keep stable relationships, right? Stable, healthy, long-term, reciprocal relationships. Because narcissists have two set of rules, right? They should be able to do everything that they want, right? And the person that they're dealing with, you have to be somehow subservient to them, right? So you can't do anything, but the narcissist can do everything, right? They can swear and they can curse you out, but then you can't swear and curse them out, right? That's why they have two set of rules, because they know that they can't be accountable. Narcissists don't even like to say the word sorry. And if they say sorry, it's because there's something in it for them. It's because they believe that they are getting something from you by saying sorry. But the sorry, it's not meant as a sincere apology. Rather, it's meant as a way for them to dodge accountability, so that they don't have to, actually say sorry for what exactly they did. Because when they say sorry, all they're gonna do is they're just gonna repeat the same cycle again and again, which is love bomb, devaluation, discard, and most of the time there's what's known as a hoover. For anybody that's new to my channel, and if you're new, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate having you. For anyone who's learning who's learning about this stuff, a hoover is simply when the narcissist is coming back, right? Because they believe that there's something that you have that they want, right? And usually that's a supply of sex, or it's a supply of money, right? Or it's a supply of something else that they deem that you have personally, right? Now, sometimes they won't come back, but most of the times they will come back and try people to see, because they come back for two reasons, right? And I mentioned this in my video of why narcissists get divorced, right? The two reasons narcissists come back are because they're not satisfied, and the second thing is they want control. They want access to people, right? Now, they're unsatisfied with the supply that they're with, the supply that they're getting from another person. And so that's why they go back to their other sources of supply that they dealt with in the past, because they believe that those supplies, sometimes they haven't even wised up, that they haven't moved on. So they feel like they can take everything from them, right? And they want control of that person, because they know that if they can come back, that means that they can still have access to that person. They don't like that person for who they are as a human being. They don't see people as human beings. They see people as access, right? They see people as what do you do for me today? And if you don't do anything for me today right now, right, then they just move on as if nothing happened, right? That's how narcissists ruin people's lives, right? Because people invest so much time in the narcissist because they're drawn into them, because the narcissist plays such a good game of lying, right? And once that person is drawn in, they give everything that they have. And then once they give everything that they have, that's when the narcissist runs away, because narcissists, remember too, they're so distorted and so delusional inside their minds that they think that they believe everybody is the narcissist. They believe everybody's doing what they're doing. That's why I said before in one of my videos that every relationship, including marriages, they're all doomed to fail from the beginning, right? Because narcissists always believe that everybody is just like them. That everybody is cheating. Everybody is doing something. Everybody's doing the things that they're doing, right? And so we're talking about the fact that, narcissists, why they're so exhausted during the daytime. And it's also because they just don't like the daytime. They hate the daytime because they know that during the daytime, right? The other thing too during the daytime is that narcissists know that they just don't get a lot of sleep. And when you don't get a lot of sleep, what happens? You're tired, you're exhausted, and if you get too much sleep, if you oversleep, you're lethargic, right? That you're just dragging through the day, right? And so narcissists, they know this, right? They know that you need a good amount of sleep to function. But see, narcissists, they don't care, and they want people to prove themselves over and over again, right? As a way for the narcissist to be able to control them, right? So I hope that you guys are understanding what I'm saying here, because this is real stuff. So understand this, guys. I'm not saying that everybody who's tired during the daytime is a narcissist. It's not what I'm trying to say at all, because I know that someone's going to come back at me and say, hey, Paul, but I'm tired during the daytime at times. I sleep during the day. I take naps during the day. Well, we're not talking about you, man. We're talking about narcissists, right? Narcissists are generally, now, normal everyday people. Some people are tired during the daytime just because they maybe have a health condition, right? But what I'm talking about narcissists, the difference between those people and narcissists is that narcissists, they are tired during the daytime because inside of their devilish mind, right, the demons don't allow for them to get any sleep. Remember that saying, ain't no rest for the wicked? I actually made a video on that. You should go watch that. No rest for the wicked. But anyways, it's because the demons, they don't allow them to get any rest. The demons keep them up at night, right? And I experienced this with my ex-wife. when we were married and when we were sleeping in the same bed together, I couldn't understand why it was that it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm there in the bed. I'm here in the bedroom, and then she's out there, on one of her phones or something. I get up and then she's on her phone, or she is reading one of her books or novels, and it's 3, 4 in the morning. And I say, babe, don't you have work in the morning? And then she's like, yeah. And then she's smiling at me like that, and I'm just like, okay. And then I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I go back to bed, right? And then the next day, she's complaining, saying, "Oh, I'm tired, babe. I'm so tired. I'm tired." And I'm just like, "But you didn't get any sleep last night. You were up till like 3, 4 in the morning." And then she's like, "I know." And I'm just like, "Okay, so then why don't you get more sleep then?" Back then, I didn't know what I know now. I didn't know she was a narcissist back then. But now I know that, yeah, it's because she couldn't get away from the demons that are always spinning around her mind, and also because she has a disorder, right? A disorder where it's like the ability that she lacks empathy, so she doesn't care about anybody but herself, right? And so this is how narcissists function, right? And she also had a job where she where it was like an on-call job or something like that, and she was working this job in the night, right, when she could have been doing it 9 to 5, but she chose to want to do the night as well, where she's out, at 5, 6 in the morning. Now, again, I'm not trying to say everybody that works these jobs, like healthcare professionals, nurses, that they're narcissists. It's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that narcissists, they have they narcissists are different in the sense that they just do what they want because they lack empathy. They don't care. Whereas those other people who do it, they're doing it as a means to, maybe it's because maybe it's because that's the only job that they can find, or maybe it's because they're working these hours because they have a family to support. There's so many layers to have to look at it from, so many lenses to look at it from. But what I'm saying is that narcissists, you have to remember, it's that two things for this video. One is that they lack the ability, they have a disorder in their minds where they lack the ability to empathize, and they don't care about anybody but themselves. So if that means that they go to bed at 5 in the morning, get up at 7, and they're late for work, then that's what it means. They're late for work. They don't care, right? And the other thing is that the demons in their minds, remember, the demons don't allow for them to get any rest. Right? The demons have to always be on the go. It makes them be always on the go. And the other thing too is that narcissists, it's because they take the main, and the other reason, which I didn't talk about for this video, why they're so exhausted during the daytime, is because narcissists are addicted to drugs. I would say 99% of narcissists are addicted to drugs, right? And it's the drugs that are always keeping them going, because a lot of these drugs have side effects. And a lot of these side effects don't allow for these people to actually go to sleep, right? It prevents them from sleeping, right? Because the drugs, what they do is they have so many things inside of them. I don't take drugs myself. And I'm not saying everyone that takes drugs is a narcissist. It's not what I'm trying to say. Because some people, like I said, have medical conditions where they have to take medications and drugs and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is that narcissists do it because they get supply from it. They get supply from abusing their bodies and then blaming it on other people, saying, "Oh, you made me do this. Oh, you made me do that. If you didn't do that, then I wouldn't have done this." So see, the thing with narcissists is that it's never their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Right? They always need an outlet. They always need to dump their nastiness onto other people, right? Remember what I said, narcissists cannot self-reflect. It's too painful for them, right? Because that means that they have to think about all the bad things that they did. And anytime they have to, then that means that a mirror, the mirror is right in front of them, and it's showing them the ugly, nasty person that they are, and they don't want to see that person. That's why they have to be constantly on the go. That's why they have to take so many drugs to drug up their bodies, right? So that they can keep on going from person to person, to place, to workplace, to country, city to city, because they're never satisfied, right? And the Bible even talks about this, right? That the devil's like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour, right? That there's no sleep for the wicked, right? The Bible speaks about that clearly. Right? So understand this. It's really important that you guys understand this, that Notice how just take note of it. Like when you're dealing with a person who is maybe a toxic person, maybe you don't know this person right now, right now is a narcissist, and you're watching this video and just like, oh, that explains why my mom or my dad they didn't fall asleep. That explains why my brother or sister they're always up at night. They can't fall asleep. That explains why my spouse, they're always on the go for some reason. They're always doing something during the nighttime. Me and the kids were in bed and we're sleeping, and then my spouse, my husband, or my wife, she's gone, like always gone. She doesn't work a night job, but she's always gone for some reason, like walking around on the streets. And then during the daytime, they're always. It's because they have to. They're always on the go. It's because they're trying to escape the demons that spin around in their minds, because the demons don't allow for them to rest. And it's because they lack the ability to empathize, and they don't care what other people think. They don't care about their families. They will literally get rid of their family, right? As if nothing happened. I'm sure you guys have heard many stories on the news about, criminals and people, while husbands or wives or fathers or mothers, killing their families and killing their children just like that, as if it never happened, and then smiling about it and thinking that it's a joke. It's because these people are demon possessed. They have demons spinning around in their minds 24/7, and these demons have control of them, right? You have to understand that narcissists are ruled, they are controlled by demons. That's why we say once you figure out that somebody is a narcissist, you can't continue to give them chances and think that these people are going to change, because they don't change. They can't change because they have too many demons in their mind, they're in their aura, and and their disorder won't allow for them to change. If they get delivered from these demons, the disorder is still going to be there. You haven't gotten rid of the disorder, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying for the sake of this video. Just be aware of people who are always on the go. Right now, again, I'm not trying to say everybody who works hard and does their job and all that is a narcissist, because there are people who work late night jobs and they work their asses off just to support their families. I get that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that narcissists, narcissists, they do it for different reasons, right? They do it because they're trying to get away from the demons, right? Those other people, they might be, but I guarantee you those other people are healthy, stable people. They don't go around manipulating and gaslighting and try and destroy people's lives like the narcissist does, right? Because narcissists do these things without people knowing. That's why they're so sneaky. That's why they're so evil, because they like to do things without people knowing what they're doing, right? Because narcissists don't like being caught. Because once they're caught, that's when they run away. That's why they're always on the go. That's why they always run. They're always running, because they always think that somebody is watching them. They always think that someone is going to catch them. And it's also the past that they're haunted by. They're haunted by their past too, right? That's why they're always so tired during the daytime as well. Is because they're haunted by their past. They're haunted by the darkness. The darkness comes and haunts them. And during the daytime, now that the day has started, it's like they don't have the ability to have enough strength to go. They just drag through the day. And then once the nighttime comes, that's where they thrive. They thrive in darkness, right? Narcissist's father is Satan, the father of all lies. And Narcissus, the Greek, that person is also a demon as well, because he didn't like getting approval from other people, right? So what he did was he pushed away the approval of others, and he stared at himself in a pond all for a whole entire day or days on end, and didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't sleep, didn't do anything, because he was so in love with himself that he then killed himself, right? It's the same thing with the narcissists. And narcissists are going to hit a wall where hit a point where they're going to actually do this, right? They're going to admire themselves for so long, right? And after they've done admiring themselves for so long, what's going to happen is that they're going to end up killing themselves, because they're going to see how worthless they are of a person, right? And they're going to see that all their supply is drying up, that they don't have enough supply to get them through the days anymore. And then they figure, okay, I'm not important. Nobody cares about me. Nobody is here for me when I need them, right? And then they'll kill themselves, right? Evil will eventually destroy itself. And the Bible speaks about that. That's why when it comes down to narcissists, that's why we don't take revenge against them. That's why we don't wish ill will against them. Now, people are going to come back to me and say, "Well, Paul, you've been making these videos for so long and you continue to talk about this." Well, I do it because I want to educate people so that people see the signs before they get caught up in the love bombing stage or the trauma bond or in the fog where they don't understand what is happening to them. I want people to be able to see that evil does exist, right? That there are people that are jealous and envious of you, that there are people that want to kill you, that there are people that want you dead. These include your family, your friends, your spouse, maybe if you're married, in your relationship. I'm not trying to say be paranoid, but I'm just trying to say be self-aware of what is going on around you, right? Have boundaries, right? Respect yourself enough to know when to say no, right? And if people can't accept that, if they can't accept when you say no, then you know that those people are not for you. They don't belong in your life, right? Because normal, healthy, stable people understand that we are not all perfect, right? That we have lives, that we can say no, that we can do what we want, right? That we can be reasonable with each other. And if people take that the wrong way, then that's their problem. Then you know that they're potentially a narcissist. Because one thing narcissists also hate is the word no. They don't like hearing the word no because they feel as though everybody should bow down to them. They believe that they are God, that they are better than God, right? And that's how they know. That's how you know that they're going to hell, because they believe that they are God, right? And they're not God. There's only one God on this planet that rules this earth, right? And it's not their God. Their God is Satan. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about for the sake of this video today. Why it seems like narcissists are always exhausted during the daytime. Like I said, if you would like a one-on-one session, please email me, paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or please send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent again, if you need some more advice, if you're trying to figure out whether you're dealing with a narcissist or not, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to give you the help that you need. What I will say again is if you want to call, please send a text to the number. Let me know it's you, your name, and that you've been watching some of my videos. And like, subscribe, share it with somebody. Share this video with someone who you think can use the knowledge. Also, watch the link to my podcast. On the podcast I spoke on about my narcissistic experience. I think you guys would find it useful and helpful, especially those who are new to my channel. Yeah, I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you so much for being here, and have a good day.